Well, that tremendous ovation is for the Wildcat team as a whole. These Wildcat fans are among the most enthusiastic you'll find anywhere, but they're also the most orderly, gentlemanly group of young men that you'll find. There's Jim Muncy being introduced. Jim Muncy will start at one guard, number 21. And Terry Wickman, who is keeping our stats here tonight, gave us some information on Jim, and let's see what happened to him. Number 23 is Kerry Bletch. He's 6'4". He'll be jumping at center there tonight. There goes Brian Dowling, number 25. The great scorer for the Wildcats, 191 points, or rather 325 points. We're looking at Bill DeLong's scoring total, 191. And number 31, Bill DeLong, being introduced to the fans now. This is an all-senior team starting for St. Ignatius. And number 35, Jim Grace. He scored 273 points this year. Hit on 39 out of 59 from the free throw line. There's your starting lineup. Bill DeLong, Brian Dowling, Jim Grace, Kerry Bletch, and Jim Muncy. That's for the Ignatius Wildcats. Now let's check the starting lineup for the East High Blue Bombers. Well, an introduction now for John Wirtz. John Wirtz, a real veteran in this coaching profession and a real credit to the coaching profession. Done a wonderful job. John probably could be coaching at any number of colleges right today, but his heart is with these boys of high school age, and Cleveland can be thankful for that. Now the East High Blue Bombers about to be introduced. Deputy Superintendent Elva Dittrich making the introductions here at courtside. A packed house at the Cleveland Arena tonight. We might remind you, in fact, we better remind you, this broadcast is reaching you as a public service of KYW Radio, Group W, Westinghouse Broadcasting in Cleveland. This is your station for tournament basketball, high school basketball all season long. All right, the first player introduced for East High, Raymond Holliday, number 12. He's 5'9". He's a senior. Number 32 is Charlie Williamson, 6'2", another senior. And there's Big Mike Childress, number 34, 6'7". He'll be in there at center. Here's Ron Pryor, number 40. He'll be at a guard. And the other starter will be Jimmy Stewart, the only junior in the starting lineup, 6'5". I think Chuck called him 6'6". Chuck Lyons, the coach, in our pregame interview, but he actually, according to the program, goes 6'5". And now there's the introduction for Chuck Lyons. Former Purdue University basketball star, doing a great job at East High. Been there 3 years. This is the third time he's brought a team into the arena. His first year, the Bombers played in a consolation game. Ladies and gentlemen, our national anthem. Well, the preliminaries are over, and we're all set and ready for full-scale action here. The Ignatius Wildcats once again lining up with Jim Muncy, Kerry Bletch, Brian Dowling, Bill DeLong, and Jim Grace. The East High Blue Bombers, Raymond Holliday, Chuck Williamson, Mike Childress, Ron Pryor, and Jimmy Stewart. All set to jump at center court. Dick Mozzarella has the ball. The referee stepping into the center circle. Childress against Bletch. There's the tip. Controlled by Ignatius. With the ball is Brian Dowling. Moves up across the center court. Up to the center, being harassed there by Ron Pryor. Flips it off to the side to Jim Bunsey. Bunsey into the left side. Back out to Dowling, but he's called for traveling. It'll be passed in by East High from this side of the court. We're on the south side of the court. Passed in to number 12, Ray Holiday. Holiday brings it across the timeline. Moves up to the edge of the key. Flips it back out to Stewart. Stewart over to Williamson. Williamson into Holiday in the corner. Holiday goes into the corner. Back out to Williamson. Back out to the edge of the key to Pryor. Pryor around the key. Off on the left side to Williamson. Williamson drives in the corner. Back out to Pryor. There goes Pryor going around the key. Jumper from the side. Good. 2-0. East High on top with 7:21 to go. Crossing center court. With that ball is Brian Dowling. Dowling back over to Bunsey. Bunsey to Dowling. Dowling into the edge of the key. Back over onto the left side to Bunsey, but he's tied up and fouled by number 40, Ron Pryor. And going to the free throw line is Brian Dowling. That's the first foul of the ball game. Pryor over harassment of Brian Dowling, and so Dowling steps up to the charity line. Ready, aim, fire. It is in and then out again. Rebound taken off by Childress. 2-0 the score. Here's Holiday across center court. Back out to Pryor. Holiday into Pryor. And Holiday starts to drive on the bucket and is fouled by number 21, Jim Bunsey. Now they're going to call it on number 31. That'd be Bill DeLong. DeLong gets the foul. And going to the free throw line is number 40, Ron Pryor. 2-0. The Bombers out front with 7:03 to go in the first quarter. The fouls are even now. Let's see what Pryor can do at the free throw line. One shot. It's up. It's in. 3-0 the count. Brian Dowling throws it in for Ignatius. Dowling to Bunsey. Bunsey over to Dowling. Dowling starts to go in the left side. Checked there by Stewart. Back over to Bunsey. Bunsey drives into the left corner. Lays it up. Shot is blocked beautifully by Childress. And knocked out of bounds. It'll be put in play by Ignatius underneath the Wildcats' own basket. Brian Dowling to put it in. Dowling out here to Jim Grace. Jim Grace goes around the key, tries to go down the right side. Checked there by Holiday. Back out to Dowling in the corner. Dowling in the left corner. Back out to Bunsey. Bunsey tries to go around the key, and he's checked there by Holiday. Back over to Dowling. Dowling drives in. Jumper from 10 feet out. No good. Rebound is taken off the boards by Williamson. Here's a one-on-one fast break with a bounce pass off to Pryor. Pryor jumper from the side. Good. 5-0. East High out front. Ron Pryor, a jumper from about 15 feet out, taking the rebound of the layup by Williamson. Ignatius brings the ball down court, and a pass in under the basket to Bill DeLong. He's fouled by big number 44, Jimmy Stewart. And going to the free throw line will be Bill DeLong. East High 5, St. Ignatius nothing. 6:12 to go in the first quarter. A two-shot foul. DeLong shoots the first one good. 5-1. Ignatius is on the board. He was fouled in the act of shooting that time. DeLong shoots once again. It is also good. In then up and back in again. Here's Holiday ahead to Pryor. Pryor into the circle. Lays it up. Called for traveling. Shot was no good. This East High Ball Club is quick. 5-2 the score. The Bombers out front with 6:08 to go in the first quarter. DeLong brings it across center court over to Dowling. Dowling, a long pass into Bletch off his fingertips, and then scramble forward on the floor, picked up by Pryor. Pryor over to Williamson. Here's Williamson bringing it across center court. Pass on the left side to Holiday. Holiday drives in the corner. Checked there by Dowling. Back out to Raymond Holiday. Holiday trying to set something up. Standing there at the edge of the key, about 5 feet outside the key. Starts to drive in. Checked there by DeLong. Then takes a one-hand jumper. No good. Rebound comes off to Stewart. Stewart's tied up, then fights free and lays it up. No good. Rebound up and in. No good. Up again. No good. Rebound comes off to DeLong. DeLong ahead to Dowling. Dowling drives down the lane. And he's called for traveling. It'll be passed in by East High from across the court. Passing the ball in is Williamson. Williamson to Stewart. Stewart, a jumper. Good. 7-2. Stewart, a jumper from about 5 feet out. One-hander. 7-2. East High out front. Cross center court with the ball is Dowling. Dowling into the corner to Bletch. Bletch is checked there by Williamson. Williamson works it into DeLong. DeLong feeds it back out to Dowling. Dowling a jumper. No good. Rebound comes off to Pryor. Pryor loses the ball. Has it stolen by Jim Grace at center court. Grace back over to Dowling. Dowling starts to drive in. Flips off to DeLong. DeLong tries to lay it up. Does. No good. Rebound comes out to the key to Holiday. Holiday ahead to Williamson at a fast break. Williamson up. No good. Tip in. No good. Rebound comes off to Dowling. Dowling brings it across center court. Moves down to the side court. Takes a one-hand push that's no good. Rebound comes off to Charlie Williamson. Williamson crosses center court with the ball for East High. Back over to Ray Holiday. Raymond Holiday with the ball now. Standing there, slowing things up. Flips it back over on the right side of Williamson. Into the key, the high post to Stewart, but the ball is deflected off to Holiday. Holiday takes a shot from the corner, but it's no good. The rebound comes off to Brian Dowling. Dowling slowly bringing that ball across the timeline now. Back over here to DeLong. To Bunsey. Bunsey, a jumper, no good. Rebound comes off and fought for, goes out of bounds, deflected by Ignatius. Says the referee, it'll be passed in by East High. Williamson passing in to Pryor. 7-2 the score. East High on front with 3:54 to go in the first quarter. Here's a jumper by Holiday that's no good from a way out. Rebound comes off to Bunsey. Bunsey may go all the way, but he's checked by Holiday as he drives into the left corner. Flip back out to Dowling. Dowling over to DeLong. DeLong, a one-hand push. Good. 7-4 as Bill DeLong on a one-hand pusher from about 15 feet out, a little bit to the left of the basket. East High on the attack once again. The handoff is to Williamson from the far corner. He shoots, no good. Rebound to Williamson. Rebound is good by Big Mike Childress from the corner. And it's 9-4 with 3:16 to go. East High leading by 5 points. Bringing the ball across center court, Brian Dowling. Dowling off to Bunsey. Has the ball stolen as he tries to pass it into DeLong. Stolen by Williamson. Williamson may go all the way. Lays it up. No good. In and out again. Rebound is fought for. Bletch comes off the board with it. Deflects it off to Dowling for Ignatius. And here comes Dowling across center court once again. Up to the edge of the key. A lob pass into Bletch. Broken up by Williamson. Here comes Williamson driving down the center. Feeds off to Holiday. Holiday a jumper from the side. No good. Rebound by Childress is good. 11-4 the score. 2:42 to go. East High on top by 7. Once again, the Wildcats coming back up the floor, and timeout has been called. Timeout has been called by St. Ignatius as John Wirtz wants to get together with his boys and talk things over. All set to go. Solon is leading West Geauga 35-22 at the half. 21-8 was the score at the end of the first quarter. All right, here come the Ignatius Wildcats on the attack once again. Ball passed in by DeLong. DeLong into the corner to Jim Grace. Almost loses it. Then flips it back out to Dowling. Dowling tries to go in. Has a shot deflected. The rebound is fought for. And finally, Raymond Holiday comes up with it. Brings the ball down the court for East High. Back out to Williamson. A jump shot that is no good from way out. And the rebound is taken off by big Kerry Bletch. Bletch over to Dowling. Dowling brings it across center court. Dowling and Bunsey, the back man. A lob pass intercepted by Childress. Ahead to Holiday. Holiday ahead in the corner to Holiday, or rather Pryor. A jumper by Pryor is good. And it's 13-4. From the left side, Ron Pryor. And about a 15-foot jumper. 13-4 East High out front. Ignatius on the attack into Bletch in the left corner. Back out to Bunsey. Bunsey to the edge of the key. A jumper from the key. No good. Rebound is fought for. And it comes out to Williamson. Williamson ahead to Holiday. Holiday to Pryor. Pryor on the corner takes a jumper that is no good. Rebound comes off. And Dowling controls it for Ignatius. Dowling brings it across center court. There's a bounce pass off on the right side to DeLong. Back over to Dowling. Over here on the left to Bunsey. Bunsey a jumper from the left. No good. Rebound is fought for. Goes out of bounds. It'll be passed in by the East High Blue Mountain. And Stewart has gone out. There's Holiday with a jumper from the right side that is no good. Childress on the rebound, no good. C.A. tips it in. George C.A. tips it in, and it's 15-4. East tie by 11 points. 53 seconds left to go in the first quarter. Ignatius on the attack once again. Works the ball into DeLong. DeLong goes in for a layup. It's no good. The rebound by Bletch is good. 15-6 with 42 seconds left to go. Kerry Bletch. A rebound of that shot by DeLong. All right, ahead to C.A. to Childress. Childress, a pivot shot that is no good. Rebound is taken off by DeLong. DeLong to Dowling. Dowling across center court. 28 seconds to go in the first quarter. Over here to Buncey on the side. Into Bletch in the corner. Bletch shoots, is fouled. A foul on number 32. That'd be Charlie Williamson. And going to the free throw line will be big Kerry Bletch of the St. Ignatius Wildcats. 21 seconds left to go here in the first quarter. The Wildcats out, rather trailing by 9 points. The shot by Bletch is good. 15-7 the count. 1 to go. He was fouled in the act of shooting. Up and in. 15-8. Bletch had 18 for 34 foul shots for the season going into tonight's game. Into the corner with the ball goes Holiday. Holiday feeds off to Pryor. Pryor in for a layup. No good. Rebound is fought for. And finally C.A. comes up with the ball. Dribbles into the key. Loses the ball. Stolen away from him by Jim DeLong. Or rather Jim Grace. Grace back over to Dowling. 8 seconds. 2 seconds. 1 second. No time left in the first quarter. Brian Dowling got away a desperation shot as the buzzer sounded, but it went way over the backwards. And so that ends the first quarter out here in the city championship game. They score at the end of the first quarter. East tie 15, St. Ignatius 8. A change in the St. Ignatius lineup as we start the second quarter. Bill O'Malley has come in for Jim Buncey at a guard post. Number 15 stands 5'8", and I believe he's a junior. There's the tip. Comes off to Holiday. Holiday back over to Pryor. Pryor to Holiday. Holiday goes into the corner. Feeds off to Pryor here on the right side. Back out to Williamson. Williamson drives around the key. Goes into the left corner. Checked there by DeLong. Feeds back out to C.A. C.A. comes into the edge of the key from the left side. And tries to set up a screen. Then hands it off to Pryor, or rather Holiday, who takes a one-hand jumper as he goes around to the right side of the key. It's 17-8. East tie out front. Here comes O'Malley bringing it across center court. Feeds into Dowling. Dowling drives in, tries to lay it up. Shot is blocked beautifully by Williamson. The rebound comes off to Dowling. He's in the corner, takes a one-hand push that's no good. Rebound is fought for and knocked out of bounds. Foul is called on number 30. That'd be 34. Childress. We thought Cliff Faust said 3-0, but it was 3-4. Number 34, Mike Childress. And going to the free throw line will be number 23, Kerry Bletch. The shot is good. 17-9. Bletch has been dead-eye at the free throw line tonight. Here's Pryor driving into the right corner. Flips back out to Williamson. Over to Raymond Holiday. Holiday tries to go around the key to the left side. Goes into the corner. Takes a jumper. That is good. 19-9. East tie by 10 points. Here comes O'Malley across center court with the ball for Ignatius. Back over to DeLong on the left side. Over to O'Malley. Bounce pass into Dowling. Dowling drives in, lays it up. No good. Rebound taken off by Childress. Brian Dowling having tough luck tonight. Pryor ahead to C.A. C.A. jumper from the right side. Good. 21-9. East tie on top by 12 points. The Wildcats to the attack once again. Across center court is DeLong. Back over to O'Malley. O'Malley into the corner to DeLong. DeLong shoots, scores. 21-10. Captain Bill DeLong, and especially a one-hand pusher from the right corner. 21-11. It's East tie by 10. 6:21 to go in the first half. Holiday starts to drive in. Checked there by O'Malley. Feeds off to Pryor. Back out to Holiday. Holiday a bounce into Childress. He sets up a screen. Feeds off to Pryor. Pryor shoots. No good. Rebound taken off by Bletch. Bletch brings it down center court. Then off to Jim Grace. Here comes Grace around the key. In on the high post to number 25, Brian Dowling. Ball is stolen by Pryor. Goes all the way. Lays up. Scores. 23-11. That was Ray Holiday, who committed grand larceny about center court. He's a cat when it comes to that basketball. He went all the way for the layup and scored. There goes Dowling driving in, and he's fouled by a big Mike Childress. That's 2 fouls. 2 or 3? 3 on the big boy. And the Bombers will be in trouble if he ever gets out of there. And he's coming out right now. Chuck Lyons is sending Jimmy Stewart in there. Jimmy Stewart, who goes 6'5". Childress 6'7". Big Mike is coming out for a rest with 3 fouls. A 2-shot situation for Brian Dowling, and he misses the first one. This is not Brian's night, at least here in the first half. The next shot is up and in. 23-12, 5:42 to go here in the first half of this ball game. East High on top. Bringing it down across center court is number 32, Charlie Williamson. Feeds off to Holiday. Holiday into the edge of the key. Back out to Williams on the right side. A jumper. No good. Rebound comes off. Kerry Bletch has it. All right, here's an Ignatius fast break, but Dowling loses the ball, but I believe he was fouled. No, it's an offensive foul. They call a foul on Dowling. Offensive. He charged into Raymond Holiday. And Chuck Lyons is calling timeout. The East High coach. We got a score here of 23-12, and the East High Blue Bombers are on top. We resume here. The ball will be passed in by the East High Blue Bombers from in front of our KYW microphone here. It'll be passed in by Ray Holiday. Charlie Williamson getting set to take the ball, make the reception, and Williamson brings it across the timeline. Hoop! He traveled, found the ball, and it'll be a turnover going to St. Ignatius with O'Malley passing in now for St. Ignatius at precisely the same spot where the Bombers passed in. Pass in to Dowling. Dowling lays it up. No good, but he's fouled. He is fouled by number 44, Jimmy Stewart. East is getting in foul trouble around those boards. They're being just a bit overly aggressive on those boards tonight. And Dowling is at the free throw line. The first shot is up and in. How many is that for Brian tonight? Next one is up and in. 23-14. Brian has 5 points now. 1 field goal and 3 free throws. All right, East High to the attack. Back out to Holiday. Holiday drives into the left corner. May go all the way. Checked there by Jim Grace. Ball is almost stolen by Jim DeLong, but C.A. finally retrieves it. He feeds off to Williamson. Williamson tries to go around the key, takes a shot. It's blocked by DeLong. Then Holiday takes a shot. The rebound comes off to O'Malley on the left side. O'Malley clears the boards and brings it across center court. O'Malley over to Grace. Grace, a one-hand push. No good. Rebound is taken by DeLong. DeLong out to Grace. Grace shoots. No good. Rebound taken off by Holiday. A Holiday ahead to Pryor. Pryor to Holiday. Holiday a jumper from the side. No good. In and out again. Rebound fought for. Here's Dowling. A 1-on-2 fast break. May go all the way. Lays it up. It is no good. The rebound is pushed in, however, by number 31, Bill DeLong. 23-16. The Wildcats narrowing that gap now to just 7 points. Chuck Lyons wants to call timeout. He does. Let's talk it over, he says. Important games on the 11 o'clock news tonight. Ken Courtwright will be reporting them to you. So stay tuned for all the basketball news right here on KYW. The ball passed in by Williamson across the way, off to Raymond Holiday. Holiday off to Pryor. Pryor comes in from the left side. He's checked there by DeLong. DeLong out to Williamson. Williamson almost loses the ball to O'Malley, and then finally gets rid of it on the right corner to Stewart. Stewart back out to Williamson. Williamson drives around the key, shoots from the right side. No good. Rebound fought for. It is taken by Ignatius Brian Dowling. Dowling clears the boards, brings it across center court. Wirtz is yelling, set it up, but Dowling starts to drive in and is fouled. That's a second foul on Williamson. And Brian Dowling goes to the free throw line. It's a 1-on-1 situation, up and in. 23-17. The Wildcats have it down to 6 now. Trailed by 12 at one point. The next shot by Dowling, up and in. 23-18. Williamson ahead to Pryor. Now Holiday has it, drives into the right corner, tries to go around DeLong, then stops and shoots. No good. Rebound fought for. DeLong has the rebound. The Wildcats are battling him on the boards. And they're starting to get the better of it now. DeLong took that rebound and was fouled. Captain Bill DeLong going to the free throw line with a 1-on-1 situation. That foul was on Jimmy Stewart. That's his second. Mike Childress is out of there. He's in foul trouble. The shot by DeLong is no good. Rebound by Bletch is good, but a jump ball had been called. Referee Dick Mozzarella says, I blew the whistle before you shot, Kerry. So they'll jump at the circle. Here comes Mike Childress coming back in there. But the referee says he can't come in. So he's trotting back over to the sidelines. Can't come in because Stewart, the boy he's going to replace, was jumping. Tip controlled by Ignatius to Brian Dowling. Feeds off on the left side of Bletch. Bletch into the corner to DeLong. DeLong back out to Grace. Grace shoots. No good. In and out again. Bletch takes the rebound. Lays it up. Good. 23-20. That lead is now down to 3 points. Here comes East down the floor once again. Feed off to Holiday. Holiday the edge of the key to Pryor. Pryor jumper. No good. Rebound is out of bounds. A foul is called. One referee called it out of bounds. The other official called it a foul. The foul will prevail. Kerry Bletch is the boy assessed with a foul. His first foul. And going to the free throw line will be big Jimmy Stewart. Mike Childress tried to go in for him again. And again he was turned back. Having an awful time getting Childress into the ball game. Stewart now at the free throw line. Getting set to fire. He does. It's up. It is no good. And Dowling clears the boards. Dowling ahead to O'Malley. 3:10 to go in the first half. O'Malley brings it across center court. Up to the edge of the key. Flip off to Grace. Grace in the corner to Bletch. Shoots. Shot is blocked by Williamson. Williamson has it. Feeds off to Holiday. Then back over to Williamson. Williams may go all the way. Checked by O'Malley as he drives up the key. Feeds off to CA. Then to Stewart. Stewart tries to go around, and a foul is called. Offensive foul on the part of Stewart. He charged into Kerry Bletch. Knocked him down. But he's all right. He's up and already at his position back down court as St. Ignatius gets set to pass it in. O'Malley brings it across the timeline. Drives in the right side. Into the key to Grace. Grace shoots. Scores! 23-22. Jim Grace from the free throw line. Made it 23-22. There's a shot from the corner by CA. Makes it 25-22 as East High comes right back. Cross center court with O'Malley. O'Malley up to the edge of the key on the left side. Into the corner to DeLong. Back out to O'Malley. Ball stolen by Childress. Then restolen by Dowling. Lays it up and scores. No good. Referee rules no basket. A foul had been called. An offensive foul called on Bill DeLong. His second foul. No, it's not an offensive foul. It'll be Childress going to the free throw. And the Bombers may be in trouble because of that. Childress going back out of there. He has 4 fouls with 1:20 to go in the first half. At the line is DeLong. The shot is no good. Rebound fought for and finally retrieved by CA. CA ahead to Williamson. Williamson at center court. Brings it across the timeline. Drives to the edge of the key. Harassed there by O'Malley. Flips off to CA, who drives into the left corner. Into the post to Stewart. Stewart, a pivot shot that's good. 28-22. He's tied by 6, and O'Malley brings it across center court for Ignatius. 55 seconds left to go in the first half. To DeLong. Off on the side to Bletch. Bletch, a bounce pass out to Grace. Grace over to O'Malley. Trying to set something up. O'Malley to Grace. Back over to O'Malley. Bounce pass into the pivot to Dowling, and he's fouled. On number 40, that'd be Ron Pryor. And Dowling goes to the free throw line. That's the second foul on Pryor. It'll be a 1-on-1 situation for Brian Dowling. 28-22 the score with 42 seconds left to go. East High on top. The shot is good. 23-22. Or 28-23. That's 7 points for Brian Dowling now. 1 shot to go. The next shot is up. The bonus is good also. 28-24. East High to the attack once again. Bringing it up across center court is Charlie Williamson. Williamson off to Holiday. Holiday into the corner to Pryor. Back out to Williamson. Williamson tries to go around the key, but he's checked there by O'Malley. Then feeds into Stewart. Stewart, a pivot shot. No good. Rebound comes off. Controlled by DeLong. 20 seconds to go here in the first half. They'll set up for one shot. Coach John Wirtz is holding up one finger over here, telling the boys, wait for that one shot. 11 seconds to go. Dowling has it underneath the basket. He's fouled. No, he's called for traveling. He's called for traveling. Ignatius loses possession with 7 seconds to go. East High brings it down. Cross center court is Williamson. Shot from a way out. No good. Rebound by DeLong. Ahead to O'Malley. He shoots. It is no good. I doubt if it would have counted because the buzzer had sounded just a fraction of a second before he let fly with the ball. Okay, that's the first half of this ball game, and we've had a real thriller here for these first 16 minutes of action. The scoreboard at the end of the first half in the city championship game reads East High 28, St. Ignatius 24. Bill is doing a fine job tonight. John Wirtz has been fortunate. He's been able to dip down on that bench and come up with some boys like Jim Daly and Dave Mack and now Bill O'Malley, who've really filled the bill when there appears to be a gap in the starting array. And O'Malley replaced Bunsey in the first quarter, and he's still in there doing a fine job. The tip is controlled by East High. Off to Williamson to Holiday. Holiday drives in, feeds off to Pryor. Pryor jumper from the right side. That's good. 30-24, East High on top. All right, the Wildcats move down court. Across center court with the ball is Bill O'Malley. Up to the edge of the keyhole. Feeds off to DeLong. DeLong to Bletch in the corner. Bletch shoots. No good. Rebound by Stewart. Stewart off to Williamson. East tries a fast break, but it's slowed down. The ball finally ends up with CA in the corner taking a jump shot. Rebound is taken off the boards by Bill DeLong. Captain Bill DeLong of the Wildcats. Bill O'Malley brings it across center court. Moves up to the edge of the key. Flips off to Grace. Grace into Bletch in the corner. Bletch comes out of the corner. Feeds out to O'Malley in the key. Off in the corner to DeLong. DeLong a jumper. No good. Rebound by CA. CA clears the boards. Feeds off to Holiday. Holiday to Williamson. Williamson across center court. Being harassed there by Grace. Then feeds it off into Williamson. Williamson shoots. No good, but the rebound is dumped in by George CA. It's 32-24 in favor of East High now with 6:51 to go in the third quarter. O'Malley brings it across center court. Flips back out to DeLong. DeLong off in the corner to Bletch. Bletch shoots and scores. Ball is deflected off into the crowd at the far end of the court. Clock is stopped momentarily while official Cliff Faust picks it up. Now he's got it back in play into Holiday. Holiday to George CA. CA back out to Williamson. Williamson off on the left side to Stewart, who comes out of the post. Ball almost stolen in there by Jim Grace, but finally picked up by an East High man at center court and whipped off into the corner to Holiday. Holiday back out to Williamson. Williamson at the edge of the key. A jumper. No good. Rebound comes off to Jim Grace. Ignatius goes on the attack with Grace crossing center court. Back over to O'Malley. O'Malley drives into the edge of the key. O'Malley very reluctant to shoot, but he sets him up. Fades off in there to Grace. Grace drives in for the layup that's no good. Shot is partially blocked. Rebound comes off to Holiday. Holiday ahead to Pryor. Pryor drives in the left side. Flips back out to Holiday. Holiday goes in the left side. Then sets up a screen and shoots. Good. 34-26. O'Malley crosses center court. Up to the edge of the key once again he goes. Feeds off to Kerry Bletch in the left corner. Bletch shoots and scores. 34-28. East High by 6 with 5:30 to go in the third quarter. Holiday brings it across center court. Flips back over to Pryor. Pryor into the edge of the key from the right side. Feed back out to Holiday. Holiday starts to go in, is checked, then feeds off to CA. CA comes up the alley and is called for traveling. Ignatius has the ball. Feed in by DeLong. DeLong to O'Malley. O'Malley up to the edge of the key once again. Back to O'Malley. O'Malley a bounce pass on the corner to DeLong on the right. Back out to O'Malley. Over to Grace on the left. Into DeLong on the right corner. DeLong back out to O'Malley on the left. Tries to get a pass through to Dowling. Broken up by Holiday. Then he feeds off to Pryor. Pryor back to Holiday. Holiday may go all the way. Checked by Grace as he starts up the alley. Feeds off to Pryor at the side court. The shot is no good. Rebound is taken off by number 15, Bill O'Malley, and he's fouled by George C.A. Wasn't intentional, but George C.A. was doing a bit of a ride-em cowboy bit there on Bill O'Malley, and O'Malley goes to the free throw line. C.A. lost his balance and went sprawling all over O'Malley. O'Malley at the line with one shot. The shot is up. It's good. 34-29. That's the first point for O'Malley tonight. There's a long pass down court to Holiday. Shoots from the side. Good. 36-29. East by 7. O'Malley has the ball kicked out of bounds by Stewart and then deflected off an Ignatius player, says the official. So it goes over to East High. Williamson brings it across the timeline. Off on the left side to C.A. in the corner. Back out to Holiday. Holiday back over to C.A. C.A. at the edge of the circle. Holds it up, then feeds off to Pryor from the corner. Shoots, scores. Rod Pryor's getting deadly now on those one-hand pushes from about 10 feet out, either the left or right side of the basket. 11 points for him so far. There's a feed into Bletch in the right corner. He feeds off to Grace. Grace tries to lay it up. The shot is in and out. Rebound fought for. And Stewart is called for traveling. He did not have a possession of that ball. He ended up with possession of the ball. But in the process, he was walking down the court with it, says the official. Ignatius passes in. O'Malley has a pass broken up by Holiday. Foul called on number 12, Pryor. The foul is on O'Malley. He'll go to the line. The foul is charged to Holiday. The foul actually occurred nowhere near the ball. It occurred after Holiday had passed the ball ahead. But his momentum carried him right on into Holiday, who was standing there guarding him, and knocked O'Malley down. Holiday crashed into O'Malley. That's it. What do we do? Give him a ticket for reckless running? A cheer from across the way for the East High Blue Bombers. This timeout has been called here. When play is resumed, it'll be an Ignatius boy going to the free throw line. There, the John Wirtz is letting him stay in. Hasn't scored much. He's got 1 point. But if this boy will be back next year, things don't look so bad for the Wildcats next year. O'Malley's just a junior, Terry? O'Malley a junior?
No, all seniors.
All seniors. All right, here's a final score. Solon 66, West Geauga 55, North Olmsted 71, Avon Lake 54, Brecksville 45, Brooklyn 36. The shot by O'Malley is good. 38-30. That's 2 points for Bill. Here comes Holiday, may go all the way, lays it up, and is fouled. No good. The basket no good, but the foul was called on Jim DeLong. Ashtabula Harbor 52, Madison 48. That's the final score. At the free throw line with 2 shots is Ray Holiday. That's the first foul on Jim Grace. First shot is good. 39-30. East by 9 points now. We have 3:48 to go. The shot is up. It is good. A 10-point margin now by East. 40-30 with 3:47 to go in the third quarter. O'Malley brings it across center court. Flip back over to Grace. Oh. Bletch takes a shot from the corner that's no good. Here's a fast break. And a foul is called. East on a fast break with C.A. on the end of it, but he's fouled by Jim Grace. The whistle is getting rusty. All right, getting set to shoot is C.A. and the shot is good. 41-30. East High by 11 points now. One more shot. The shot up. Good. 42-30. A 12-point margin for the East High Blue Bombers. O'Malley brings it across center court now. Back over to DeLong. DeLong in the corner to Bletch. Bletch back out to Jim Grace. Grace to O'Malley. Back to Grace. In on the post to Dowling. Dowling can't get a shot away. They're over him like a tent. Back out to Grace. Grace to O'Malley. O'Malley back over to Grace. Grace in the corner to Bletch. Bletch shoots. No good. Rebound by Holiday. Over to Pryor. Back over to Williamson. He's trying to break fast that time, but Wildcats caught up with him. Traveling violation called on Williamson. A turnover with the Wildcats putting the ball in play. (42-30) the score with 2:59 to go in the third quarter. Crossing center court is O'Malley into Bletch. Bletch shoots. No good. Rebound. Cleared off the boards by Williamson. Williamson ahead to Holiday. Fast break. CA ends up on the end of it and lays it up and scores. A hesitation shot by CA. He started to shoot, then delayed it. Faked his man out of position beautifully down there, then laid it up unmolested. And it's 44-30. A 14-point margin now for East High with 2:42 to go in the third quarter. Repeating those scores, Solon, 66, West Geauga, 55. Solon's Jim Mendrick scored 23 points. North Homestead, 71. Avon Lake, 54. Rexville, 45. Brooklyn, 36. Ashtabula Harbor, 52. Madison, 48. 44-30 the score here at the arena. The East High Blue Bombers with a 14-point lead. They led by 4 points at the half, 28-24. This third quarter has been just about all East High, just as the first quarter was. The Wildcats outplayed the Bombers in the second quarter. Maybe history will repeat itself, but the Wildcats really have their work cut out for them tonight. All right, O'Malley passing in for Ignatius from across the way. Into Grace, back over to O'Malley. He brings it down across the timeline, up to the edge of the key, over to Grace. Back over to O'Malley. O'Malley into the right corner to DeLong, who shoots and scores. 44-32. Here comes Pryor moving it across center court to Williamson. Williamson over to CA. CA starts in, then stops, jumps, shoots. Rebound is retrieved by Stewart, but they rule his foot was out of bounds. It'll be passed in by Ignatius. Pass into Grace. Grace over to O'Malley. O'Malley brings it across the timeline. Bletch is yelling down in the corner. He's wide open. Nobody near him. Then over to DeLong. DeLong starts to go in. He's checked by Williamson. Feeds back out to Dowling. Dowling lays it up. Scores! 44-34. That's the first scoring by Brian Dowling this half. 9 points in the game for Brian. East High on the attack once again. CA at the edge of the key. Feeds off to Stewart. Stewart starts to go in. Foul by Kerry Bletch. That's the second foul on Kerry Bletch, and going to the free throw line is Big Jimmy Stewart. A one-shot situation. He was not shooting. He was going in to shoot. The shot is up. It is good. 45-34. East High by 11. Brings it across center court. O'Malley over to Grace. Grace to O'Malley. Back over to DeLong. Back out to O'Malley. A jump shot by Grace. No good. Rebound fought for. A foul is called on Bill DeLong of St. Ignatius in the battle for the rebound. Packed house here at the arena tonight watching this ball game, and this broadcast is being sent your way as a public service of KYW Radio, a Group W station, Westinghouse Broadcasting in Cleveland. KYW, your station for high school basketball, tournament basketball. We'll be with you with all the scores and highlights of all the tournament games, just as we have throughout the season. At the free throw line, Charlie Williamson. The shot is up and in. 46-34. 1:34 to go in the third quarter. Bringing it across center court, Bill O'Malley. A feed off to Jim Bunsey, who's come back in the ball game. Over to Jim Grace. Grace back to Bunsey. Bunsey a jumper. No good. Rebound fought for, and Stewart clears the boards ahead to Holiday. Holiday on a fast break. Broken up finally by Bunsey, but East gets the rebound, and there's a fight for the ball, and there's a bit of a temper exhibited by a couple of the boys out there. A foul has been called, I believe. Or will it be a jump ball? Jimmy Stewart and Kerry Bletch involved in that dispute. They're apologizing, however, shaking hands in the spirit of true sportsmanship. It's one of the things that go to make up this great game of high school basketball. A couple of boys who've learned a great lesson out there probably tonight, just on that one little incident. The shot is no good, taken by Bletch. There's the pass ahead to C.A. C.A. flips back to Holiday, but he's called for traveling. 46-34. Ignatius by 12 with 1 minute to go in the third quarter. The Wildcats to the attack once again. O'Malley back over to Bunsey. Bunsey back to O'Malley. O'Malley up to the edge of the key. Bounce pass over to Grace. Grace shoots. No good. Rebound fought for. Stewart comes up with it off the boards. Ahead to Holiday. Here comes Holiday all by his lonesome, but he's called, no, not for traveling, but fouled. In case you're wondering how he could be all by his lonesome and fouled, suddenly Bill O'Malley caught up with him and tried to put a tackle on him on about the 5-yard line. And he's called for fouling, of course, and of the free throw line is Ray Holiday. The shot is no good. The rebound is taken off by Brian Dowling. Here comes Dowling with 43 seconds to go here in the third quarter, and his team trailing by 12 points. Bill O'Malley back over to Bunsey. Bunsey back out to O'Malley. They're going to play for the one shot with 30 seconds to go. Ball is deflected out of bounds as C.A. tried to steal from Bunsey, but he succeeded in deflecting it out of bounds. Ignatius will pass it in. Over to Bunsey. Bunsey drives in the left corner, feeds off to Bletch. Bletch in on underneath to Dowling. Dowling tries to shoot and is fouled. Dowling will go to the free throw line. The foul is called on Ron Fry, and I believe that's all. Or rather, Stewart is the boy who gets the foul. And Stewart is out of the ball game. That's his 5th foul. And big Mike Childress goes back in, and he's in trouble. He's got 4. 21 seconds to go in the third quarter, 46-34. Obviously, Harv Morgan's fine program Contact will be delayed in starting tonight. But stay tuned for that show, Cleveland's #1 discussion show. It'll be upcoming immediately following our basketball wrap-up from out here. The shot by Dowling is good, 46-35. Bringing the ball across center court is Holiday. Holiday feeds off to C.A. in the corner, a jumper that's no good. Here comes St. Ignatius with 10 seconds to go. Back down court, feed off to Dowling in the corner. Dowling drives under. Can't get the shot away, feeds off to Bunsey. Bunsey shoots. No good. A whistle blows with 2 seconds to go. He was called for traveling before he shot. 2 seconds to go in the third quarter. The ball to be passed in by Williamson into Pryor, and finally stolen by Bunsey. And O'Malley tried a shot just before the buzzer sounded, but it was no good. That's the end of the third quarter of play here at the Cleveland Arena. The score, East High 46, St. Ignatius 35.
Play. The Blue Bombers of East High are on top by 11 points, 46-35 the score. We have a new boy. Eddie Cooper has come in the East lineup. And out of there is who? Childress has gone out. All right, there's the tip. It is controlled by East. Eddie Cooper comes up with it. Over to Holiday. Holiday to Pryor. Pryor shoots. No good. Rebound taken off by O'Malley. And Ignatius comes back on the attack. They trail by 11 points. Bill O'Malley off to Bunsey. Bunsey back to O'Malley. O'Malley starts to drive around the key. Then is checked there by Cooper. Back over to Bunsey. Bunsey to Kerry Bletch. And Bletch loses the ball out of bounds. pass was a little too wild, and Carey tried to save it, made a valiant effort, but he lost his balance and fell out of bounds with the ball. It'll be passed in by East High. Ron Pryor brings it across center court. Back over to Ray Holiday. Holiday back out to Eddie Cooper. Cooper drives in the left corner, feeds back to Holiday. Holiday goes around the key, up the lane, feeds off to Pryor. Pryor jumper from the left. No good, it's short. Rebound by O'Malley. O'Malley brings it down court, feeds off to Bunsey. Bunsey to O'Malley. Over to Bunsey. Back in the corner to Kerry Bletch. Almost deflected out of bounds. Into Dowling underneath. Dowling lays it up, scores. 46-37. Brian Dowling faked Pryor out of the way and laid it up going away from the basket. A 9-point lead now. Back out to Eddie Cooper as Ignatius brings it down. A shot from the side by C.A. Retrieves his own rebound. Bletch is down on the floor, maybe injured. Whistle's blowing. Kerry Bletch is on the floor, maybe injured. He has not gotten up. John Wirtz is racing out from the Ignatius bench. Don't know what it is. It appears it may be his face. He's laying face down on the floor underneath the Ignatius basket. Being lifted now to his feet by the Ignatius. It may be that knee. Kerry sprained his ankle a month ago and has been out of action for several weeks. And he's going to come out of there. It looks like it's his ankle again. Well, big Kerry Bletch. He played his heart out there tonight. He's all done for tonight. Dave Mack is replacing him. I believe he's a sophomore. The big boy from Garfield Heights, I believe. He did a fine job of replacing Bletch during the regular season when Bletch had an ankle injury. And now he's got a big job ahead of him tonight. His team trails by 9 points as the clock shows 6:47 to go in the ball game. All right, East High passes in. Cooper into Holiday. Holiday over to Williamson. Williamson into Pryor. Pryor tries to lay it up. No good. Rebound is fought for. And a tie-up underneath the boards. Boy, there was more congestion under those boards than on Memorial Shoreway about 5:30. It'll be Dowling and C.A. going to the free throw line. There's the jump. Controlled by Ignatius. Dave Mack has it. Feeds it back out to O'Malley. O'Malley crosses center court. In the corner to DeLong. DeLong to Dowling underneath. Dowling is covered like a tent, but he gets a shot away. No good. Mack gets the rebound. And here's the ball stolen by Cooper. Stolen back. To receive it and lay it up. 2 points. 46-39 the score. The Ignatius fans coming to life now. Eddie Cooper has it for East High. Over to Ray Holiday. All right, looks like maybe East is going to wait for the good shots now and slow it down. They have a 7-point lead. The clock is ticking away. 5:46 to go. Holiday goes into the corner with it. Bounce pass over to Williamson. Drives in, lays up, no good. Big Dave Mack has the rebound. Here comes O'Malley across center court. O'Malley into Dowling. Dowling off on the side to Grace. Grace shoots, scores. Grace has found the mark now, 46-41. Timeout called by East High. That's the 6-point for Jim Grace. That gap has been narrowed now to 5 points. It was at one time 12 points. East High 46, Ignatius 41. We got 5:23 to go in the ball game. It's far from over. That cheer you hear from the Wildcat boosters behind us. Well, both clubs have lost their big boys tonight. Kerry Bletch with an ankle injury for Ignatius. And Mike Childress is sitting out most of the game with a foul situation. And now he's just coming back in. Jimmy Stewart, his replacement, already has departed the game because of fouls. We're all set and ready to go here now with East High ready to pass it in. It'll be passed in by Holiday. Holiday into Williamson. Williamson drives down the right side. A foul called. on Williamson. Offensive foul. Ignatius will pass it in. O'Malley and Bunsey. That's the second on Williamson. Here comes O'Malley into the right side. Feeds off to Grace. Back out to O'Malley. Into DeLong. Lays it up. Scores! 46-43. A three-point lead now for East High. Talk about amazing comebacks. Here come the Bombers with Holiday driving in, shooting. No good. Rebound by Dowling. O'Malley has it. O'Malley brings it across center court. Feeds into Dowling. Dowling to Grace. Grace shoots. No good. Rebound fought for. And Holiday comes up with it ahead to C.A. Foul call. Offensive foul on C.A. The ball goes over to St. Ignatius again. Ignatius will pass it in from center court. Bunsey into O'Malley for 39. Here comes O'Malley across the timeline. Back over to Bunsey. Bunsey into the edge of the key. A jump shot. No good. Rebound by Childress. Ahead to Pryor. Pryor to Holiday. Holiday finally gets around Dowling and passes ahead to Williamson. Beats back off to Pryor. Pryor shoots. No good. Rebound is knocked inbounds by Holiday. Into Brian Dowling. And Ignatius has possession once again. O'Malley crosses center court with it. Up to the edge of the key. Back out to Bunsey. Over to O'Malley. Bounce pass into Dowling. Foul. No, 3-second rule violation called. Turnover. The ball will go to East High. 4:03 to go on the clock. 46-43. East High leading by 3 points. Bringing the ball across center court is Holiday. Over to Pryor. Back out to Williamson. On the left side to Holiday, who drives into the key. Shoots and no good. Foul on number 45, Jim Grace. An under the board violation. 2 fouls on Grace. 3. Check that. 3 fouls on Jim Grace. A 2-shot situation here with Raymond Holiday going to the line. These could be big ones. 3:49 to go. Shot is up and in. 47-43. Holiday getting set once again. The shot up and no go. Rebound by C.A. No go. Rebound by Childress. No go. Next rebound by Childress is good. 49-43. 3 quick ones for East High. O'Malley brings it down the court for Ignatius. Back out to Bunsey. Bunsey over to O'Malley. O'Malley shoots. Scores! His first shot of the night, and he scores. 49-45. Bill O'Malley's been a very reluctant shooter tonight, but he took that one and was right on target. 49-45. Almost steals the ball that time from Williamson. Back over to Holiday as he drives in the corner. Back out to Williamson. Williamson feeds off to Pryor on the right side. All the strength over on the right side now for East High, but then finally Holiday draws it over to the left as he goes around the key. Beats back to Williamson. A jumper. No good. Rebound by DeLong. Oh, ball almost stolen by C.A., but DeLong retains possession. And hands off to Dowling. And back to O'Malley, who brings it down the floor. Into DeLong. DeLong underneath the bucket. A jumper. Good. 49-47. Ignatius trails by 2 points. 2:40 to go. Timeout call by East High. Well, we've got a ball game going here tonight. That's obvious from the racket. We hope that we're audible above the din of these 10 to 12,000 fans who are packed in this fine sports arena tonight, watching the action. And they're enjoying every minute of it. 49-47 is the score. East High by 2 points. At one time, the Bombers led by 12 points. But this Wildcat ball club just won't give up. And they're doing this with the big Terry Fletch. Getting it here. He came out of that ball game a short while ago. Let's see, they've got Mack out of there now, and they got DeLong, Grace, Dowling, Bunsey, and O'Malley in the Ignatius lineup. Mack came in for for Bletch, but he only played momentarily. Let's see, they've got Mack out of there now, and they got DeLong, Grace, Dowling, Muncy, and O'Malley in the Ignatius lineup. Mack came in for Bletch, but he only played momentarily. All right, East High comes up court again. It's Holliday moving across the center line with the ball. Over to Williamson. Williamson in the right corner to Pryor. Pryor back out to Holliday. Holliday goes around the key to the left side. Beats off to Childress. The ball is almost stolen. A jump ball is called. He's tied up by number 21. Here's a 5'8" boy, Jim Bunsey, jumping with a 6'7" boy, Mike Childress. The tip, of course, is controlled by Eastside, but stolen by Brian Dowling. How about that? Childress got the tip, but Dowling came up with the ball. Muncy has it now at the edge of the key, off to O'Malley. O'Malley in on the left side, into the corner to DeLong. Back out to Muncy. Muncy to O'Malley. O'Malley starts to go in the right. That's for sure. The shot is good. It's a 1-on-1 situation. He'll get another one. 50-47. East High by 3 now. And that clock is all important. One more shot. 50-47. The shot up and no good. Rebound by DeLong. O'Malley has it now. 1:20 to go. Ignatius trails by 3. Back over to O'Malley to the edge of the key. Back over to Bunsey. Bunsey, a shot that is no good. Rebound fought for. Jim Grace and Childress are fighting, and a jump ball is called. Grace and Childress ended up on the floor, and they'll jump underneath the east basket. 1:09 to go. There's the tip, and it's controlled by Dowling. Dowling drives in, lays up. In. He scores. It was in and out again. 50-49 the score. Dowling laid it up after getting that tip off. All right. Holliday across the center court. East goes into a stall. 52 seconds to go. They lead by 1 point. Holliday at center court. Off to Pryor. And a traveling violation called out East High. The ball goes over to Ignatius with 44 seconds left to play. Trailing by 1 point. The Wildcats have a chance now. 44 seconds to go. O'Malley has it at center court. Situation. All right, ready, aim, fire. Good! It's all tied up, 50-50. Here's a big one. Here's a big one. This could put Ignatius in front for the first time tonight. The shot is up. And in. 51-50. Ignatius on top by 1. Here come the Bombers. With Holliday moving to the edge of the key. Flips off to Pryor. Pryor drives in. Radio, Group W Westinghouse Broadcasting in Cleveland.